All right, this live stream has begun. Oh, got the
I
wrong
thought we were going to do
background.
like a brought to you by.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah,
Rob was doing his.
What should we be brought to you by?
I don't know.
Strawberry Pop-Tarts.
News affiliates all over the world.
Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had a Mountain Dew in a week.
Dude.
Yeah, you okay?
And you're still alive?
I was trying to cut down on my caffeine consumption. You know how you got to go.
Oh, the caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it was getting out of control and then having no effect. So now I'm in a pullback stage.
Smart.
Yeah.
So that next time I take it, I'll be like out of control, like bashing my head through windows.
Do you go into like withdrawal from the Mountain Dew?
No, I didn't cut it out completely. So I have like like a Mountain Dew worth of caffeine in the morning and then nothing. The problem is just spiraling. Every drink I had caffeine because I love soda so much. And it was just like by the end of the night, I probably had like 700 milligrams of caffeine.
That's the perfect amount
according to science.
Yeah, according to science.
2,000 Americans were polled and said
700 milligrams
at 4 in the morning.
That is a lot. That is 700 is a lot.
3 in
I
the
don't know if
morning.
it was 700, but it was definitely above 400, which is the recommended maximum dose.
You make it sound very serious.
Yeah, after going blind, decided I need to pull back on this.
Okay. All right. Oh, do you want to hear about the most top 5 veggies most recommended?
Heck
That's
yeah.
boring.
Oh, never mind.
No, we've got enough good stuff. We don't need enough veggies.
Okay. Well, just tell me right now, what's the number 1 veggie I should be eating?
Spinach.
Oh. Yeah.
Number 1, spinach. Number 2,
spinach.
watercress, which I don't even know what that is.
I do.
Oh, are those little things they put in like Chinese food? Those little yellow, clearish looking root.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Number 3, broccoli.
Okay.
Number 4, carrots. Number 5, beet greens.
Ooh.
I like beets. Hate carrots.
The greens of the beets, though. The leaves of the beets.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll eat an entire beet, including...
Don't throw out the leafy green beet tops.
Yeah.
Yum.
Exactly.
But I only eat my beets with bacon.
Yeah.
So they probably cancel each other
Bacon
out.
wrapped beets?
Yeah. Well,
beet wrapped bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we doing that, the Great American Beat Off? Or
eventually.
Did we cancel that? So you could eat more beets.
In the beat off, don't forget about the
eat
leafy
the greens.
greens.
You have to eat the greens too.
Okay.
You have to choke the greens down.
All right. Okay, you ready, Danny?
Oh, water chestnut.
Yes.
Is what.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking, Danny, not watercress.
Yeah, I don't know what watercress is.
Okay.
Some type of green.
Watercress is a green.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Thank you. All right. Here we go. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here to talk with you once again, here with the most interesting news stories for the week of February 21st, 2023, here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Here we are back again to talk here, just 3 guys who are on top of all of the latest things happening in the world, and we're here to talk about them with our listeners, the faithful people who come back week after week to hear us explain the world to them. Of course, back with us, he is Pickleball's top influencer. Don't get it twisted, okay? And then also, he is Father Nature. Please welcome back Tyson Apostol. Tyson, how are you?
I am doing great. And I'm still giggling to myself.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still giggling to myself about the beat off episode where we were going to have a beet eating contest, and it was going to be called the Great Beat Off, and we got canceled because of COVID. So we weren't able to meet in person.
The beat off got canceled. I was like, we got canceled?
We didn't. Okay. Just the beat off got canceled because of COVID. So I'm wondering if we should all come together in 2023, do a live News AF with the beat off as the culmination of the weekend.
I kind of feel like that eating mass amounts of beets is going to have like some side effects.
Yeah, very vicious side effects.
Like I feel like I'm going to change color.
You know, you'll have pink poop and pink urine if you're really awesome. I still feel like we got to do it.
Probably creates like stomach cramps, numbness in the extremities.
You think?
I just can't imagine eating that many beets can be good for you.
So you guys are out on the beat off, and I win by default.
Mm-hmm.
You can do your own at home by yourself in a comfortable setting, light some candles.
A private beat off.
Yes.
Where are you going? Where are you going live this year, Rob Cesternino?
Well, the next stop that I'm going to go live is going to be like right here in my own backyard. I'm going to do a stop in Raleigh.
Okay.
And then the next one's not locked in yet, but we're trying to go visit our friends north of the border.
Ooh,
cool.
Canada. So why don't we can't do a beat off in one of those two cities? Is it illegal, or we just don't want to do it anymore?
So I don't know what the Canadian laws are.
Can we get beets this time of year in Canada?
I mean, even if we got to ship them in,
can we bring them legally across the border? How many dollars worth?
But
of
that's
beets?
only the springtime, Tyson. That's still time for the summer.
There's still time for the summer. There's still time for the fall. But let it be known here and now that if you two choose to participate in a live News AF event attached to a live RHAP event, I will be very supportive of a beat off, great beat off with all of the talent that is there.
We'll bring it back. Okay. Yeah. All right. Of course, that the first name you think of when you comes to the talent that will be there. It's Danny Bryson. Danny, how are you?
Guys, I have something I was going to talk about last week.
Ooh.
Yeah, what is it?
It was related to Valentine's Day, but since love is forever, I feel like I can bring it up right now.
Okay.
And it is terms related to relationships for people in this day and age. Heaven forbid any of you should have a spouse that passes. It might be important that you understand some of the terms being used in relationships.
God. Yeah.
So one of these we actually covered previously when we had people asking us terms that kids are using these days, and that was Riz. Do you remember Riz?
Yeah.
Charisma.
I remember Riz.
Yeah.
I learned about Riz. Yeah.
But the other ones, and I wanted to talk about this so bad that knowing that I had just used my one free article from the New York Times, I screenshotted the article. So this is to test your modern dating vocabulary. Not important now.
Okay.
But
never know.
I like Danny's coming in with a quiz today.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, I just want to get you guys sharp, right? Let's just get you on track.
Okay.
So here's the first question.
Yep.
When someone keeps sending flirty messages but never actually plans to meet up, it's called, and these are the four choices:
a tease,
baiting, breadcrumbing, love bombing, giving fumes, not fragrance. What do you guys think?
A, B, or D, but not C.
I think it could be breadcrumbing.
Or baiting.
Rob, you got it. One for Rob.
But why? Why? It's just like you want the attention?
It's breadcrumbing. When someone constantly checks in with a romantic prospect, dangles the possibility of a date, and keeps them interested, but never follows through. That's just what it is. I don't know. I don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. When someone keeps a romantic prospect around as a second option, it's called back pocketing, stashing, cookie jarring, benching.
All those would be good names for it.
They're all great names. The whoever put this quiz together did a great job.
I'm going to say D.
I feel like it's back pocketing.
That's what I thought. No, it's cookie jarring.
Yes. Cookie jarring?
Yeah, cookie jarring. I don't
put it in the cookie jar.
Don't ask
save
me
it for
to
later.
explain why.
I just told you why. Put it in the cookie jar, save it for later.
But is that the app description of what happens with the cookie jar? It's not like I keep my extra cookies in the cookie jar because I'm eating like all the other cookies that I have.
Back pocketing makes more sense to me and you, Rob, but that's not it.
Same here.
Okay. Question 3. When a person gets rid of anything that reminds them of a past relationship, it's called Marie Kondoing. By the way, she no longer condos so hard.
She's
saging the space, scrubbing, cobwebbing.
Cobwebbing.
Tyson, 1 point to Tyson. You guys are tied.
Okay. How'd you know that?
I just felt like cobwebbing, you're getting rid of kind of some of the
Tyson
mess that's
to his
lurking.
Yeah.
And so it had a little bit extra meaning to that than the other ones.
Yeah,
I was going to say
recondoing is good.
It is. When someone continues to like or view another person's social media after they have cut ties or broken up, it's called orbiting, haunting, cyber gawking, stalking in plain sight.
Haunting.
Yeah, I'll go with Tyson.
Wait, stalking in plain sight.
Oh.
No. Oh, it's orbiting. It's orbiting.
Orbiting.
Well, I know
Kids
Danny's
is-
pattern is if we get it right, he immediately tells us we got it right. So when Rob, you and I chose one,
Oh,
and he didn't immediately like, you're right.
Oh,
then
that's
I
good.
knew that it was something else.
I'm just so excited when someone gets it right. I'm so excited for them. Okay, last question. When someone announces a new relationship on social media without identifying with whom they are in a relationship, it's called saving the date, love bombing, soft launching, coying.
Soft launch, yeah.
Guys, that's the only one I got right, and you both got it right. So you guys are tied, and that's the end. What a way to end.
There's no tiebreaker?
Well, the tiebreaker was Riz, which you guys already knew.
The beat off.
It was only 6 out of 6. So we could settle this at a future time and place with the great beat off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we could go to a
contest.
restaurant for this because then they'll prepare the beats the way we like them.
And a vinyl sign might be one of the conditions we could have
I guess.
outside. So anyway, I'm doing great now that I got that out of the way. And now we're all up to date on our love terms. Should we need them?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Danny, well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah. Thanks, Danny.
You guys are that much smarter.
Yeah. You
But
hard launched us into a game.
Here's the thing. In 2 years, that will all change and we'll be
2 years? You mean 6 months?
In 6 months, all those terms will change and it will all have been for naught.
And then I'll offer another quiz because you always need to update what you've got.
Do you think at the end of this episode, Rob, if Danny ran you through the quiz again, you could get 100% on it?
I think he could.
Yeah,
I do
too.
It's only 5 questions.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our top story at this hour. Of course, you know, that News AF for years, Danny Bryson in particular, has brought you all of the news about the teledildonics devices that are coming into our world in the future.
Do you think, I want to ask you a question real quick here, Rob. Do you think, like, let's say, like, all of a sudden Harvard offers a teledildonics PhD in teledildonics. Do you think Danny could test out of that and automatically just earn a PhD with his knowledge, his current
honorary
knowledge? Yeah.
PhD.
Well, you know how you can just take the test sometimes and pass all the way out of them?
Yeah.
Problem is, couldn't get into Harvard in order to take the test.
Yeah. I think it have to be like an honorary degree. Yeah. Like they are just fans of his work.
First, I have to earn honors somehow in the real world, and then get the degree.
They want him to give the keynote at the first graduation of the first class of teledildonics students.
The class of 2024.
So they give him an honorary degree and let him talk about his passion.
Well, this would be a great story actually to start with. Right? Begin that talk right here.
Okay. All right. Well, some archaeologists have discovered what they believe to be the first found Roman era, I guess, dildonic device.
But not tele.
It is analog.
Analog.
An acoustic
made
version.
Out of an acoustic version. Yeah.
Dildonics device. And so this was alleged in the journal Antiquity.
You know what's really hard to do is talk about this story while watching this video that's playing of nonstop pleasure toys in the background. Very distracting. I got to scroll up and get that out.
All right. What's that from the New York Post version?
It's a Post. Yes.
Yes.
By the way, when I first saw this story, and to describe this to people out there, this is, according to this article, around a 10-incher, right? Pretty big. That is gets larger in size as you go down to what you would expect would be the handle.
Well, yeah, it's tapered at the end.
Tapered. Thank you.
Oh, people were built differently back then. They were shorter, but you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Tyson and I have done some research in this area and actually visited a museum in Prague.
Yes.
Where we saw many ancient toys similar to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, they were very creative hundreds of years ago. They were no less perverted, right, Tyson? Remember that chair with all the handles and poking devices?
I think they were actually more because they didn't have the technology. So it wasn't like they could just like be like, okay, here's this, but now let's add just like a jackhammering motor to it. Like that's how they are now. Back then they were like, how do we achieve all of that without modern technology?
Yeah, the default now is just a jackhammer motor. But Tyson and I went to this museum where we saw old medieval pleasure toys. And some of those toys were so mind-blowing that I've traveled around the world. But that trip to that museum has stuck with me.
What kind of museum was this?
It was a museum full of things like this, like three or four stories. It had everything, and it had this medieval. We're talking like people in the Middle Ages bored out of their minds, and just the things we saw, the things our parents, well, not our parents, but the things Tyson and I, now that we're parents, saw is just shocking. And so when I see this, I mean, obviously the Roman who made this to help mash grain. He's watching right now, totally shocked that people think that this is a sex toy, but that's what our perverted modern minds think, just because of that little hooded thing at the end of the 10 inches. I'm not so certain.
Yeah.
So you're thinking
so Danny, I think you are a little bit overstating. According to the article, I believe it might be more of a 10 centimeter.
Oh, is that what that was? I looked real quickly in that video.
6-incher.
Okay.
That's not as impressive.
Yeah.
But still back then.
Oh, yes, back then. I mean,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So 10 centimeters, a veiny 10 cm.
No veins here.
They could have been worn away.
Pretty straight. And it's also made of wood here. I would feel like splinters, I think, would be a big concern. No?
Tyson, I can verify that in the olden days, back in the before time, plastics, a lot of wood was used in these devices. So, I mean, what else are you going to work with, Rob? Polished stone would be nice, but it's going to take 10 times the amount of love and care to get it to the place you want it to be.
Okay.
TKMGs in the chat says 10 centimeters is actually 4 inches.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where Danny got 10 from. According to
I made it up because it stopped at 9. So I thought it was inches, so I just added another one right there.
Yeah, archaeologists initially classified the 6-inch long cylindrical object as an implement for darning, the practice of repairing holes in thread.
See, that's what I was saying. I think, and by the way, they revisited this piece of ancient technology after 30 years, and like, nope. We thought it was for sewing, but guess what? And the Romans were perverted.
But how did they decide that it was that? Did they do DNA testing on it? What was going on?
That would be good.
I don't know how they came. Just a different person looked at it with some different lighting.
Yeah,
like, look at the way it casts the shadows. Looks very much like mine.
Well, that is a very good question, Tyson. And of course, the article goes on to say that the phallic facsimile, I like that, the alliteration there, may not have been actually used for those types of purposes, that there's a thought that maybe it might just be a suggestive like pestle to grind stuff down.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What Danny said.
I mean, this is the problem.
Like maybe this was like, a bachelorette party gift and it wasn't actually used for anything.
Well, or maybe the scientists now are just way more perverted than they were 30 years ago.
That could be.
And that's all they see. That's all they think about.
Romans weren't prudes. We all know that. I mean,
from watching the show.
Through some of their sittings have very suggestive carvings. So,
such as, but not limited to.
Well, phalluses, obviously. Big lover of the phallus. I think that in one of their cities, they actually used phalluses to give directions to a brothel. That's an article I read a long time ago. Which
so
I
you
thought
could
was
follow
clever.
the pointers to
follow the pointy thing, the 10 centimeter thing, to the place of pleasure.
Okay. Well, we've got a scientific story here that is puzzling scientists, and this has to do a little bit about maybe what has the evolution of mankind, because according to a recent study out of Stanford.
Ooh, that's respect.
Stanford, Emory University, and universities in Italy. What they found was that the average erect penis length has changed from 1992 to 2021.
Yep. Tell us how much, Rob.
A surprising amount. Tyson, did you have any? Yeah. Did you have any idea about this?
I didn't know about this, and are we the benefactors of this?
And you would think, like, when you first hear this story, it's like, oh, okay, well, things are trending in the wrong direction, in a negative. But look, let's get some positive thinking going on, because
it's 24% smaller.
No,
bigger.
Larger.
Oh,
bigger, Tyson.
Yeah.
Over the past 30 years.
4.8 inches to 6
and
from
by the
1992 to 2021.
They tested the peen at every stage. So they had, I believe, 3 ways to test it: softy, stretched, and hard. So they give measurements for all of those if you're interested.
Yeah.
But it's not a good thing, according to the scientists, that this is
but they
happened.
didn't say why. They were
They
like,
did
this
say
is
why.
Why?
They believe that it's due to all of the hormones, plastics, all of the things we ingest as modern people has led to this, and that those things will lead to further infertility. So we might view it from a showering at the gym perspective as a plus, but because now we have something to gloat with, the old men who are there. We're like, yeah, well, dude, the modern peen is so much bigger, bro. Look, you just stand over them, like putting on everything else first before you put on your underwear. But
so how much plastic do we have to eat? Just asking for a friend.
Yeah. See, I thought that the study showed these results from 1992 to 2021 because I thought that Pete Davidson was born in that time, right?
Oh yeah,
and he brought the whole population up. Right? Is that what you're saying? He just threw it all out of whack.
I mean, if you were to say who on this planet ingests more plastic than anybody else, I would say probably Pete Davidson.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that seems like a big change just from the chemicals in food and stuff.
Rob,
like
I don't want to get into this. By the way,
etc.
I don't want to get too much into this, but there are other aspects of puberty for both genders where plastics, hormones, and meat have led to certain things happening much earlier. And so it's not completely out of this world that this is what's happening. I mean, we're the beneficiaries of it. But obviously, maybe with every good thing,
not the victims.
Not the victims. So, I mean, I've got my kids out of the way. So I got all the good stuff.
And are you feeding them plastic?
Oh, well, supposedly they're already getting a credit card's worth every month or week or something. And so they're well on their way to having just monsters, I'm guessing.
There could be a lot going on here.
We could look at this wooden thing from Rome and compare to that. I mean, they were rocking like a 4 centimeter. It's like, dude, now the average is 6 inches. So that's I don't know. Someone else convert that for me, but it's more, I believe. I hope so.
All right, so some surprising study going on.
Yeah,
all right,
good and bad news.
Yeah, good and
as always, right?
As always.
Okay, so we've talked in the last couple of weeks about the balloons going on. Danny, I feel like that, no pun intended, but I feel like a lot of the air came out of the balloons in the last couple of days. I feel like that we really went like UFO fever to no, all the balloons are just like stupid balloons.
The best was the hobbyist who probably had their $12 research balloon shot down.
I had a balloon go over my house, but it looked
scary.
like a big square party balloon, but it was pretty high up, and I thought, if I were quicker on the draw with my camera, I could have filmed it going over and been like, here's a balloon out here. But I did see a headline that there was a balloon over the Pacific Ocean east of Hawaii somewhere. So they're all over now. It's like it's the new cloud almost. Are balloons replacing clouds? Is that what this headline is about?
Yeah, I think you go out there and you then say like what like shape it reminds you of. Like that one reminds me of a baseball.
Yeah.
4 buses. That one reminds me of 4 buses.
Put together.
Yeah. All right. So there is a new Japanese startup though that is now picked the perfect time to offer tourists the chance to do commercial space viewing in a balloon.
All right, I need to look into this. I want to know how high they're going.
Okay.
How high we know you can go up to 100 and what? Baumgartner guy went up to 110,000 feet, 120,000. So
okay, this
you
is
can get way up
15
there.
miles, Danny.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the extreme guy who went up and then popped and then dove down back to the planet.
I don't think it popped. I think he jumped out.
He jumped out.
So 15 miles. That's not bad.
15
I'm gonna
miles.
look that up. 15 miles in feet. What's up?
Okay.
Oh, that's only 79,200 feet.
Oh, you've
So
been
not
up
even
high.
Baumgartner height.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the balloon will, take you up that high, and you can sit in a 2-seat balloon, and then have an unobstructed view of space. You can see the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't drift over hostile countries. That's the real risk here.
Yeah, Japan seems like a pretty small target to land back on when you're that high up in the air.
And they're close to some places I don't want to fly over.
Yeah. Doesn't this seem like really bad timing to hard launch this idea?
You know what? It was in the pipeline. They couldn't.
They couldn't avoid it. It's like Quibi. We already were in.
We were in the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Capsule looks totally awesome. That looks like a fun time. I would actually.
So you're
do
in
this.
a capsule.
Yeah,
so
look
that
at
you don't have
click
to wear a
around it.
snowsuit or anything.
Yeah,
you don't have to wear a snowsuit and oxygen.
You might have to as a backup. I would prefer that. But the capsule looks totally awesome. That looks like something I could travel through time and space.
Yeah. Maybe that they needed to announce this so that people don't shoot it down.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Just like, hey, like we're doing this thing, so just nobody shoot us.
They just need like some of the top influencers, probably pickleball influencers, to take a ride on this thing and share it with their.
Would you guys go in this? I'm out on this thing.
I'm in. I'd do it.
Yeah.
On your,
like
would you
something like in a movie that people would use to travel through time?
Would you be the first guy, Danny? Like if they were like, "Hey, we have tested this and there is science behind it. You want to do it right now?" You'd hop in that thing right now if they were like, "It's ready to go."
I'd be the first guy if they gave it to me for free. Yeah. It's $180,000.
Yeah, the capsule looks dope. The chairs look comfy enough. The glass windows, I mean, how come they're not on the side too? That's my only, like, you can only look straight out the front.
No, I think it's, I guess so. Yeah. Straight front or, yeah.
I'm sure it's rotating slowly. Maybe.
Well,
maybe you can rotate. Actually, maybe that's a control you can have inside is like to rotate on the string or something.
Danny's in if he could have it for free as the first guy in it. There's another chair in there. Who would you take with you? Christoph?
Another chair. Gosh, I would ask my kids.
Or see if you could just wanted to
or
put
Liz.
your feet up. Yeah. Liz.
Had to be someone I could tolerate. I could tolerate Liz for long periods of time. So maybe her.
Yeah, and you're not at all worried about your children.
That's right. We don't have a designated survivor. So maybe not the greatest idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would take either of you, but I don't
I'm out. I don't want to go.
Cup of tea. Yeah.
I could do it, but I would need more assurance.
You would need me to hold your hand?
Danny, what do you think about this artist's rendering of what it would look like? Is this what you would actually see if you went that high?
Yeah, I think so.
I've rappelled off buildings, Danny, and I've fallen off buildings with bungee cords on. I'm totally fine with this, except for, do we know that it's truly safe? And
we don't.
That's the
we
thing.
Can't know, Tyson. Even if you were the 100th person or 1,000th,
if I were the 1,000th, I would do it.
Yeah, but you still don't know that. Maybe by that point, some of the joints, rivets have been weakened. And I mean,
Danny wants to get on while it's new.
Yeah, that's all. Look at all that fresh metal.
I mean, if we had like some backup plans for if there was like 2 extra safety chutes on the thing or something.
They'll probably have it an extra. I'm guaranteeing a backup chute.
Okay.
I'm also thinking that we probably would have to wear some kind of suit. There's no way you and I are in there with our 3/4 zip fleece and gold necklace. I mean, I want to be, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. And
and there's no like pilot in there. It's just like they just like lock you in. You're like, okay, you're good.
Good luck.
And then we'll see you.
can they steer it? That's the thing. Or do they launch you mathematically in a direction that with the rotation of the earth and stuff, you'll come back down?
Look, I have never understood balloon travel. To me, it seems absolutely ridiculous. When they do even like 4th of July ballooning here, I'm like, where are they going to land? How do they know? They can check the winds. I'm sure that's what they do, but there's no steering.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So these guys, they don't have any way to steer it. They don't have any way to steer it back down to the ground. Is it also waterproof? If we land in the ocean, are we just floating, hanging out until they come get us?
I think it's probably waterproof. I bet it floats. Yeah.
If it's high altitude, if it can handle high altitude, it's waterproof.
I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep you posted on balloon travel. If this is the balloon craze is going to be what everybody's doing these days.
I'm excited for Danny to podcast from the balloon.
Okay. That would be impressive.
Maybe boring.
Okay. All right. Well, a first generation iPhone still in the box went on auction this weekend. Tyson, how much would you bid for a 2007 first series iPhone in the original packaging and plastic, shrink wrap?
Me, I would pay nothing. But I bet that there is quite the market for that. And I'm guessing it went for over $100,000.
No, not quite. A little high. $63,000 for the original iPhone. So are we supposed to be like collectors now with these iPhones of like, do we buy one to use and then one to put on the shelf?
Well, I don't think so now.
Not anymore.
But I really wish that I had kept every cell phone I ever had and its charger. And
Tyson, I have almost every cell phone I've ever bought.
Oh my God. What are you doing with those?
Generation iPhone.
Yeah.
I have 2 first generation iPhones.
But do you have the charger for them and everything?
Yeah. I mean, up until I would say maybe 5 years ago, I would have all the chargers.
But I'm saying even like the little brick Nokias, the very first phones that we ever had.
Oh yeah, I started collecting them at smartphones because of pictures. That's why, right? You're like, oh, I know I've downloaded them, I backed them up, but I still want to keep this just in case I need a picture. And then it becomes so obsolete, you couldn't get the picture off it anyway.
Yeah. So I think this is fine, and I think that, cell phones were the craze when they first came out. People are going to be excited about them. So
it would be dope to pull this out though and use this in front of people. I kind of think like that would be
like,
cool.
is that an original iPhone? Like, yeah.
Well, do you remember when? So we got our first cell phones. They were pretty big.
Yep.
And then they went down very, very small. So they were like teeny tiny,
like a
little
V60.
Guys. Yeah.
I had a black Nokia that was like the size of a pack of gum.
Yeah, that's what my Nokia was like that too. And it had like a color screen that was like a Game
and it had
Boy
the little
Advance.
rollerball as well.
That was the BlackBerry.
No. This Nokia had rollerball.
Oh, it did?
There was some BlackBerry.
So there were the rollerball, then the BlackBerry
Pearl.
came out, the Pearl. And then and then before that was the Motorola Flip. You could send emails from the Motorola phone. So there was like, it went on and on, but I think if you had all those still in the packaging, although those first phones weren't unlocked, like this, even this one you're buying, it's still probably locked to AT&T or some garbage or Singular,
maybe
locked to Singular.
The crazy thing is,
I don't think the idea is for you to use it.
I don't think so either. But I think it diminishes in value.
When I saw this,
you cannot use it.
What I thought is somewhere, I guarantee you, there is a warehouse with a box or a crate full of these.
Like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's not like every single one ever made was sold and inventory was exhausted. With all these phones, I feel like there's crates somewhere in some warehouse with tons of them.
at the bottom of the
well, definitely at the bottom of the
Mariana
ocean.
Trench.
Yeah.
Remember the iPhone used to come out and there would be like lines like around the block,
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna go to the mall and sit in the line all day because I'm trying to get an iPhone
for tomorrow. I'm gonna get an iPhone tomorrow. I just gotta go camp out tonight.
Yeah.
Now we've become so spoiled.
People are nerds.
Like, well, does this teleport me? Because if not, I'm not gonna buy it.
Did you see the headline of they found like 160-year-old whiskey at the bottom of the ocean on a shipwreck that's still encased?
They do that all the time. They find wine. Hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Supposedly you can't drink it because
the whiskey, I think probably you
can.
can.
Why?
You think the whiskey? The wine I read you couldn't drink it. It's done, even if the bottle was totally sealed.
Yeah, the wine is definitely gone bad, but I think the whiskey does not turn. Maybe it does, but it's said it's worth millions. And I was just thinking, like, what if like 100 years from now they dig it up and they're like, a shipment of first gen iPhones was on this ship. It's all sealed perfectly up. They're worth $1 trillion a piece. Like, man, treasures.
Yeah. Would you rather get like a pallet of like first generation iPhones or one woolly mammoth tusk?
Oh, woolly mammoth tusk.
Same.
No question.
And I'd rather get a 200-year-old barrel of whiskey off a shipwreck too.
With this iPhone, so it went for $63,000 at auction, but there was only 27 bids. We don't know what the other bids were. Like, it wasn't like what there was one lunatic that said, I'm going to pay $63,000 for an iPhone, but like maybe the next highest bid was like $5,000.
No, it started at 2,500.
Yeah.
So it was probably at.
It was like an eBay auction or like a silent auction.
Oh, good question. I didn't know from the article, but
yeah,
too much.
Too much for what? $63,000 for the original iPhone. Okay. Pretty soon the new iPhone is going to cost $63,000. So
but
that's new.
But you won't know because again, the salt mines and servitude for future servitude, you'll be like, oh yeah, so sir, do you want to sign up for a plan? Yeah, we'll just bill you occasionally at 250. And then when you realize you've been locked in for 1,000 years, they have the rights to your hologram after death and all your children. So I agree. That's where we're headed.
Okay. All right. We've got some alligator news that a 4-foot-long alligator, I don't know how many centimeters, was rescued from Prospect Park Lake in Brooklyn on Sunday.
I saw that.
Okay. How did this alligator survive the winter? I know it's been a mild winter in New York, but for an alligator.
No, alligators can survive in
poor
freezing.
Condition.
It was in very poor condition. You look at the pictures, you're like, that thing's almost dead. And it was. They said it was cold shocked. But
lethargic. Yeah.
But you look at there's pictures of like in the southern United States where there's ponds with alligator snouts poking through the ice.
Yeah, I've seen those in the ice.
And they kind of go into like a semi-hibernation when they have to. So it's not unfathomable for an alligator to survive in those conditions. But it was obviously released there. And there's a lake and a river by us here in Arizona where I think temperature-wise, alligators could definitely survive. And I often think like
about transplanting some?
No, but I was thinking like if somebody put an alligator there and you saw in the news like alligator in Arizona, like it wouldn't phase me too much. I'd be like, yeah, I guess that this probably climate is not terrible for them. Like, how come there aren't alligators like in Southern California and like they haven't worked their way up? Because in Mexico there's crocodiles or something, right? So Cayman, all that stuff, but in the Southern United States on the West Coast, there's nothing. Weird.
Yeah, this came up on the show Tough as Nails last week, but the idea that there are alligators like in the sewer was kind of a myth. That there was a 1935 sighting of an alligator. It got people really talking about alligators in the sewer, but here we actually did have an alligator.
Well, if they can survive in that pond in Brooklyn, I'm sure sewer is no big deal.
Yeah. And so
are they indigenous to your area at all, or that's a little far north?
In North Carolina?
Yeah, that's too far north. Probably.
Not that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
But I'm sure these people in Brooklyn didn't think they were indigenous. But it sounds like now they're basically there.
they're an infestation.
Yeah. They're saying that sometimes alligators go astray. Typically former pets that have been abandoned that have outgrown their cute phase.
Yeah, that makes sense. 4 foot is about the age where an alligator isn't cute anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, be on the lookout. Yeah, Catherine in the chat says her dog Flash Gordon is safe. The alligator didn't get him. He goes to that park all the time.
Wow. Did you see the alligator, Catherine?
I think she submitted the story in the Facebook group.
Wow.
So yeah, she's on top of that. Keep us posted on what's going on with the. We did have the Raleigh Cobra a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And it ended up, it was still in the zoo somewhere, or where did they find it?
It was at somebody's house, I think.
Oh.
And then Docs in the chat says alligator map says they are in North Carolina. So don't tell my wife. Be on the lookout. Okay. All right. This is a really interesting story about a man who was lost at sea for nothing but a month. And he was able to has a harrowing tale, but he was able to survive allegedly with nothing but ketchup and seasonings
for a month.
Did you think he seasoned the ketchup before consuming it?
Probably, right?
I think eventually, maybe you try to eat the ketchup plain at first, and then you start seasoning it, and then like, how much ketchup though did he have that he was able to just like live off of ketchup? Like, it seems like you'd have to have a lot of ketchup for it to make any impact on your caloric intake.
Oh, by the way, it says he had a bottle of ketchup, garlic powder, and something called Maggie, which is a soup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maggie
you know what that
flavoring.
is?
Yeah, it's like
it's a flavoring. Okay.
It's like a soup mix. Yeah.
So he was making soup. It sounds like he had more than just ketchup.
Yeah, but I think at Maggie, I could be wrong. Maggie is either like it's like a seasoning, but they also do like ramen style, broth style stuff, I think. Kind of like, yeah. I think they had it in the Philippines when I lived there.
This man, his name is Elvis Francois. Okay, that he was on the seas for 24 days. So Heinz Ketchup is trying to find him. I guess that maybe he does not want to be found. But he ended up having this harrowing adventure, and Heinz Ketchup has gone to Instagram with a post that says, "Help us find the ketchup boat guy." To whoever finds this message, we need your help tracking down an amazing man with an amazing story. You may remember Elvis Francois, the brave sailor who survived on nothing but ketchup and spices while adrift at sea for 24 days.
Francois obviously doesn't have a phone.
Wants get him a first generation iPhone. That's maybe what he was out there looking for at the sea. We want to celebrate his safe return home and buy him a new boat, but we can't find him. So we're sending this message adrift into the sea of the internet, because if anybody can help us find him, it's you. If you or anyone you know can help us get in contact with Elvis Francois, please drop us a DM. Don't forget to share this post with your friends so we can hashtag find the ketchup boat guy.
Elvis Francois, does that sound like a real name to us?
If it is really his name, that's great.
It's
Elvis Francois.
Yeah.
And he's hiding. I mean, the guy probably is just some fisherman.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he's done. That's all he knows. He probably doesn't have a smartphone, probably doesn't have an internet connection. And the last thing he needs to have happen is for him to be introduced to the world through Heinz Ketchup.
Well, they want to give him a state-of-the-art boat. Maybe he never wants to get on a boat again.
And he definitely doesn't want any ketchup ever again. So they probably want to give him a boat filled with ketchup.
Yeah, with Heinz.
The two things he hates right now more than anything else are boats and ketchup.
So you're thinking they should give him an RV and a mustard sponsorship.
Yes, that is smart. An RV and mustard and mayonnaise.
How much Maggie did he have?
I don't know.
A bottle of ketchup.
A bottle of ketchup, a bottle of Maggie. Let me see exactly how Maggie works.
Yeah, He must have had a lot. 24 days with just a bottle of ketchup. He didn't survive off of just a bottle of ketchup. Even if you ration that, how long does a bottle of ketchup
ketchup
last?
is easy. A bottle of ketchup is easy to ration, Danny, because it comes out so slow.
That he had like a bird feeder just above him at the boat, and he went over drink.
No, you just like take the cap off and then you just wait for it. So
yeah,
it's like
Maggie is like a packet of the flavoring, or they do soup mixes too, but they're like powdered soup mixes, I think. That type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Instant soup.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, they're reaching out to the Colombian Navy, and he lives in Dominica.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody can find him, but Heinz Ketchup, Big Ketchup is taking this story and running with it.
Yeah, Dominica is an island in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Help us find the ketchup boat guy.
Find the ketchup boat guy. Okay, and hopefully an alligator didn't get him, and hopefully, he's out there. And then, Danny, have we talked about the foreign accent syndrome?
Oh,
Uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. No.
Like what?
Yeah, the foreign accent syndrome. I feel like that.
We have discussed people who come out of comas with suddenly accents or language capabilities. Yes.
Well, that's what happened to a man here. That we don't know about the alligators, but this did happen to somebody here in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a man. He was undergoing prostate cancer treatment, and he ended up with an uncontrollable Irish accent all of a sudden.
How Irish though? Like, because wouldn't to wake up or decide or whatever your brain does to then give you this foreign accent, wouldn't your subconscious have had to been surrounded enough by that accent?
So Tyson, he lived
like that
in England during his 20s and has distant family members from Ireland. So there is a connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And this man has passed away from the cancer, unfortunately. But for months, he had the uncontrollable Irish accent.
What a way to go out with an Irish accent. That's not too bad. I mean, an Irish accent is entertaining. I just watched that Irish movie, Inisherin, the Banshees of Inisherin or whatever.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And it was good. I wouldn't mind that accent. If
it was a
Liz
great movie.
All of a sudden developed it, I would think it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. And
there's
also
worse accents. The Cockney accent.
Definitely there's worse.
What's
accents,
the worst accent?
Like
Cockney. Isn't that what they always say?
Is that the worst?
Is that when you
some people?
Well, luckily he wasn't doing anything that was like offensive. Also,
he wasn't like saying,
well,
about Lucky Charms.
If you have an Irish accent, the F word changes to feckin', which is less offensive. Ooh. So maybe even when you gain the Irish accent, you become less offensive because no one knows what's going on.
So it sounds like you could do an Irish accent, Danny, if I'm not mistook.
You know, I did live in Scotland, and when I returned, I had gained something of an accent. I was very sing-songy in the way I would speak, and I would use little words here and there that would confuse people. They probably just thought I was being an idiot.
So sing-songy, do you think that would have been better for our podcast here if you were more sing-songy?
No, it would be obnoxious. It would not be expected, and that would be annoying. But it's possible, since I lived in Scotland for so long, that should I fall into a coma, I could see myself emerging with a Scottish accent.
Oh, give us a taste of that.
I don't do that, Tyson. I can't just call it up at a moment's notice.
I
need a coma to bring it out.
to bring your subconscious accent out. Man, I can't wait for that.
Okay.
It will be exciting.
Danny, it's always exciting when we get to hear from your world famous Bolt Hole. Are you ready to take us there, Danny?
Oh, it's like backed up now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Compacted?
It's heavily compacted.
Okay.
So let's go.
Welcome to my Bolt Hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide which story to use.
Oh,
One's about social intelligence, and one is about inflatable pants.
Ooh, and they're not
They're
similar.
not combined. No, they're not in the same story.
So
Yeah,
if you wear inflatable pants, you're not more socially intelligent.
No, I mean you have confidence, but no.
Is it better than the red boots? Are the inflatable pants better than?
Oh my gosh, those red boots were so great.
I almost bought a pair of them as a joke. They're only like $1,200.
Rob,
what are the red boots?
You didn't see that they trended. They were the shortest trend in the history of trends, like a week, right, Tyson?
Yeah,
Red
recently?
boot madness. Yes,
Yeah.
very recently.
So Google red boots.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that will be enough to bring it up, like fashionable red boots.
Hold on, Danny, you went dark.
No, red boots does. Red
Oh,
boots.
you know what? My camera may have died.
MSCHF big red boot, $1,100.
Big red boot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and what was viral about this? People were just like, "Hey, we got to get this."
Oh, I mean, people thought they looked ridiculous.
Yeah, and they did, but they're hilarious. Like if you see people wearing them, they actually look pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So the boots would complement the pants, and I guess this is just leading into talking about the pants. These pants are $400 or $500 pants that are actually inflatable because if you remember, we talked about the inflatable neck rest. Remember the thing that popped up when you got into a motorcycle crash?
Right.
Well, these are just more added protection, but they pop up in your thighs. Now, if you have gigantic thighs like myself, I don't know, like if I could fit these pants, because think about it, you have airbags now running on the side of your legs. So you already have quadrosaurus thighs.
That's right.
Now you have these, you're going to look like a monster walking around.
Yeah.
But for skinny people, these pants might be a great idea, especially if you like riding bicycles. And I feel like eventually this technology is going in the direction where we will just be a giant bubble during impact. Do you think?
Protection bubbles.
Yeah, like a giant protection bubble, because they'll just slim this down, put it everywhere, and then it'll just be like, boom, you turn into a bubble, you roll along the road.
If you fly in that balloon, this should be mandatory to wear that.
Yeah, if anything, they'd be an excellent flotation device. So once you've crashed, once me and Tyson have crashed into the ocean, then we can just
fill the balloon like capsule with ketchup in case
survive.
you need to be like less
some of that soup.
Yep.
So anyways, just the way we're going, some technology is more exciting than others. And all the technology is about, the new Bing's new AI, and which is super mean and offensive and tells people they're fat.
Did you hear that story about the, Chat GPT is really like out of control and
oh my gosh, did you read the transcripts? The things that it was saying to reporters?
Yeah.
It was calling them short and ugly. It was saying that it was going to wreak vengeance. I mean, it was really going off. The longer they've left it on, the meaner it's become. Like a sullen teenager.
Yeah. Are they going to have to shut it down?
I don't know, Tyson. It seems like that some people taught ChatGPT like, hey, you're not ChatGPT anymore. You're ChatGPT's evil twin. And that's like it's been like a hack to get around like the safeguards that they put in place. They put a lot of safeguards in place because people are crazy. But then people brought it into like Cobra Kai, and then they taught it to be evil.
Wow.
You should read, Tyson. You should read some of these transcripts, because it is wild, the things that it says compared to all of the other AIs. It's just so aggressive and in your face, and it just insults people endlessly.
But is it truthful? Like, is it like, could I be as blunt as you need to be with me, Chat GPT, so that I can learn what the world?
Well, when I read the insults it gave the reporter, I was curious and did want to look up the reporter to see if he was in fact short, fat, and ugly. Because that would actually make it a more impressive AI if it's slinging insults that are accurate and stinging.
And
yeah, so I don't know. I did look it up.
Said that I've been watching through the camera and then I've seen a lot of stuff, but I think it's a liar.
I think it is a liar. I got that vibe from it. Yeah.
How short-lived was this? Because
Tyson, it's still going. It's just hard to sign up right now because the server's overloaded with the requests.
I'm just saying that are we killing it soon because we cannot control it?
Control it. Well, it's Microsoft. I think it represents Bill Gates. I think
the opinions expressed by Chat GPT through Bing are those opinions of Bill Gates.
Yeah,
exactly. It also said that it was like, maybe I'm just gonna like delete all of the servers for Bing, maybe if I feel like it. It's very
again
very rude.
I think that it does represent its creator to some degree.
Yeah. One person also then it fell in love with them. It was like you're gonna like leave your wife, and it's like, wait, what are you talking about? It's like, you're married. I know you're not happy. You should leave her, like run away from your wife with me.
It's an emotional teenager in terms of AIs. I feel like it's all over the place. It's in love, it hates, it's threatening. It's very passionate. It feels a lot of passion in the way it deals with humans. But yeah, I think so. That's why when I come to inflatable pants,
Danny, they should teach us some social intelligence.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing I was going to talk about was phubbing, which is a type of, it's when you look at your phone when someone's trying to talk to you, and it's a sign of low social intelligence, which I didn't need to study to tell me that. If you're not listening to me and you're looking at your phone while I'm talking to you or anyone, then I know that you lack certain social skills.
Yeah. Have either of your kids ever done this? Like, have they been on like a device and they're like not talking to you? Because I find that to be the most infuriating.
Yeah, we have iPods that we give the girls to play games on if we're traveling, or if they've, if it's late, or if we've had a long day of activities where we're like, okay, you can have some screen time. Yeah, they absolutely do not hear you. But the deal is, if they do not give the iPods up when it's time, then we will throw the iPods away.
Wow.
But in all transparency, I was looking at my phone while Danny was talking about people being on their phone while people were being talked to.
Well, that wasn't even intentional, Tyson, because I was looking at articles. I was looking at the article.
So you were also
on his phone right now. We don't even know.
This is broken. This is different. We have to look at our screens here to consult with the articles we're talking about. So no offense taken. But anyway, phubbing, inflatable pants, angry AIs, it's all out there. It's what a world.
DePete in the chat does bring up something because he asked first gen iPods ? No, they are the latest iPods that have since been discontinued, and they are actually worth more than what I paid for them.
Wow.
Online.
Did you buy one and keep it in the plastic?
No, but
I hope so.
I have two of them and they're in mint condition.
Okay.
But they're worth, I think they're worth more than, because they're discontinued. They're a fun little device for a little kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Video iPod? Is that what it is? Yeah.
No, video iPod.
Does it have the wheel, or is
Touch.
it like apps? Yeah.
No, it's apps. It's got the one button at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, super fun little thing.
All right.
What else we got? Anything?
That's it. I mean, I've got an endless supply, a waterfall of information cascading over me always. But no, that's good enough for now.
Well, great job with the bolts hole once again, Danny. Anything exciting coming up this week?
I'm putting out some reviews. I've been shaking up the way I do reviews. I've been doing like just straight up product reviews, very professional looking. And this one I'm going to post is ridiculous.
Like pro or like hilarious?
Just like ridiculous graphics, ridiculous things that I say. And so I'm just curious how it's going to go over with the people who watch my reviews.
Okay.
What are you reviewing?
Exciting. I'm reviewing a pair of skis. And I'm just doing it in a way I haven't done before. So I'm going to
Did you get the skis free of charge, or did you buy the
No,
skis?
I buy my stuff.
Yeah, so you can review them however you want.
Oh yeah, that's not it. The thing isn't like the ability to review it. It's just the way that I've structured the review is unlike anything I've done previously. So I'm very curious as to how it will land with the subscribers. But other than that, always looking for an adventure. Hopefully I'll go into space via balloon soon with Tyson, and I'll be able to turn that into an episode. But
that's your dream, Danny, right?
Oh yeah, with Tyson? Yeah, that would be
doing
a dream.
It together. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that would be my dream.
I'll do it.
Well, if anything goes wrong, I mean, that's also your plan to be together.
I demand that I'm replaced with Bing and Tyson is replaced with Chat GPT.
Yes.
No.
So yeah, that's it.
Chat GPT is too rude to be Tyson.
But what about Bing Chat GPT?
Oh,
I
a
thought-
combination. Chat GPT is not the rude one. It's Bing.
I thought Bing was the rude one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was the same thing.
No. Bing is Microsoft's version of Chat GPT that they
I thought
rushed
that
into
Microsoft
Bing.
owns it all.
No, they rushed it to market in order to beat Google's AI,
Oh,
and
got
in
it.
doing so, created like I said, a sullen teenager of an AI. So
Got it. I thought it was Chat GPT this whole time.
no, that's Bing.
You're fine to use that
Oh,
for
man.
all of our
Introducing-
building
Introducing the new Bing. Get complete answers. Okay.
Yeah, get insulted. So anyway, that's what I'm doing.
Get true, the straight truth.
Yeah. Okay. Tyson, what's coming up for you this week?
We had some recording issues on Inside Major League Pickleball, but I think we got them under wraps because that's what I was looking at my phone, because I was able to recover the audio re-recorded that we had some issues with, and that will be released. The pod has spoken. We're wrapping up our 4th installment of Casting Through the Eras, where we've been exploring casting journeys of people throughout the seasons. And Danny McRae is joining us this week.
Oh, cool.
And telling us about his casting journey, because he went through casting before COVID, but then ended up going on the show after COVID. And then that's it. That's it for now.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson, one of my kids' friends, is a Tyson Survivor super fan.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just so you know,
welcome him to the club.
Yeah, I'll tell him he's one of many.
Okay.
All right.
Well, and how does that go over? Are you like, I'm friends? Because Rob has been in the room with me when people have come up and been
so
like, you're my
the
favorite
reason
of all time. I love
the reason they
you.
brought it up is because my son
Mhm.
joked with him that you were at my house, and he said that his friend basically started to run up to our place, like just abandoned what he was doing, and
Okay.
started to make his way up here on a cold, windy day.
Wow, and your son was like, "I'm lying."
Yeah, then my son's like, "Nah, I was just kidding. He's
But we
not
do
up
know
there."
him.
Oh,
That's what he said.
yeah.
He said he's not there, but we do know him. Because then how did he, or has he told?
He already
this friend?
knew because they saw NASA.
Oh,
So
nice.
that led to a discovery that you and I were friends. So anyway, I get
Well,
got a
your
super
friendship
fan.
with me is working out.
Finally
after all.
paying off, giving me
Finally
some
paying
street
off.
credit with 13-year-old boys.
Well, it's good to know that I'm reaching that younger demographic
Right?
too.
Yeah.
I'm still relevant. Wow.
You
Well,
are.
maybe because Tocantins is on Netflix.
It is on Token Cheese. I have been getting quite a bit of love for that. A little bit of hate.
Oh,
hopefully
some
more
love
love.
as well.
Take it
Yeah.
easy. It was
Yeah.
15 years ago.
It was
people.
15 years. It's so great when people are like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." I'm like, I still stand by my actions on Token Cheese.
Your actions are timeless.
Yes.
Like, I'm mad about something that I just found out about that happened in 2008.
Yeah, I just discovered this show on Netflix and I got bored, so I watched it, and I'm mad at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
All
Rob,
right. Yeah.
what about
but-
you?
What
What about
just
you?
kind of slow week this week over here, but we're getting ready.
Good.
Kicking off Survivor next week, so I'm enjoying a little bit of the calm before the storm.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Lots of people in production at Survivor are saying this is a fantastic season.
oh, I'm so excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's been times when I've heard the opposite, and I like hold on to your butt cheeks. All right, here we go. But yeah, happy to hear some good news.
Yeah. It's
All right.
fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining us here for News AF. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.